Hello, I'm John from Hud-Son Forest Equipment here with the new Hud-Son 2.5 stake pointer that we've developed here. I've owned one of these for over 15 years now and I use it quite often, and I came up with some pretty good ideas on how to make it work faster and better for my application, and so we've adapted it here at Hud-Son as well. So what we did here was made this stake pointer so it's so easy to change the tips to go from one size to the other, and you don't have to put the stake and fasten it down in a cradle or none of that stuff. So what we did was just put a mount here in front of it, dead center on the square. So every square is always going to be centered. So we got 1 inch, we want to take it out, we loosen the bolt, take that one out. Put it back in, snug that up. We can go back to 1.5 inches now. That was 1.5 inches, so there's inch. There's 1.5 inches. We loosen this one here. Now we're at 2 inch. We loosen the T-handle. So now we're up to 2.5. So I can do a 2.5 by 1.5 inches in there if I wanted to. Now in this one here, I do my 2-inch stakes. I do a lot of them 2x2s, and I also do a lot of 1x2s, which fit in there just as well. As long as the stake doesn't spin inside that square, it holds it very stable for you. Same thing with the 1.5 inches. You can do 1 by 1.5 inches as well. You don't have to be full 1.5 inches. And we're going to do a demonstration here with each size basically, so you can see it work in action. I'll put this one back in here. When you put this one back in, this tab that's on the top goes in to stop it. And then you just tighten up your set screws, the whole thing's in place for when it's running. Now on this side over here for maintenance, this is how you take the cover off to change your blades, or if you get a jam. I've had a stake or two break off in the cone before. It's kind of hard to get out if the cover's on it. So we made this real easy to access. Take that bolt off and that cover flips right up and out of your way just like a hood. Now you got full access to your blades, to your cone for inspection and changing your knives. Now when something gets stuck in this cone, I've had stakes break off before, usually at a knot or if it's punky. You have to get inside here in this crack. Come around here, Jason, get in this video. Right in that crack, and I work the wood back out of this crack between the blade and here. You don't want to go inside that cone with your hand because you'll end up slicing your fingers or something. So get a piece of wood and work it down through this edge here. Now, I'm going to do a video later on how to adjust the blades as well, but that'll come up later. But right now, these machines come from the factory preset and tested before they leave, so we know that they work very well. So I'm going to button it back up, and we're going to run a few stakes through it. This here is just a nut, extended nut on here that holds this guard down. You screw that on by hand easy. Snug it up once you get it tight. And I hang the wrench right here on the hook. Looks good. Now, to do the legs, when you get this in the crate or on the pallet, this is going to be fastened to the pallet. Your legs are going to be off of it. To put the legs on, you just loosen up these hand tabs here, the T-handle, slide the leg up into the pocket and tighten it up. Set it to the height you want. If you want it down lower and cut the legs off again, that's up to y'all. It's also going to be bench mountable. There'll be holes drilled here in the frame, so you can bolt it right down to a bench. It makes it real easy to work with. That's the way I got mine set up in the shop. As you can see, all the chips fall straight down on it. So if you got it on a bench, I made a hollow spot so it's a bend, all the chips fall right in the bend. It works out great. So next thing we got is the safety. This is your safety on-off switch. Make sure you're wearing gloves. If you got rough cut lumber, I plane most of mine so it's smooth. I don't really worry about gloves. Safety glasses is a necessity. And when you're hooking up your cord, now make sure that your cord matches the same cord we got here. This is 10 gauge stranded copper. Now if you're running a long ways, you want to make sure that your extension cord is the same or bigger. And if you're running a long ways, you're going to lose voltage over 100 feet. So check with your local electrician or get some advice on how far you can actually run this. If you're running off a generator, make sure the generator can produce the amperage that you need and the voltage for it. This is a 220 volt machine, so that's why you got to use the 10 gauge wire. Simply plugs in with the 3-prong locking lugs. Twist lock, and we're basically ready to go at this point. Next, we've got the motor plate. If you got any questions on the motor, it's all right on that engine plate right here. It tells your voltage, RPMs, and the amps that you're going to need to run it. We do have safety stickers all over this machine because it can be dangerous. Use your common sense and you won't get hurt with it. It's a very nice machine to have around. So to get started, all we're going to do is flip the switch. It's running now. You can hear how nice and quiet that is. We're going to start out with a 1x1 stake. Basically all you do is sharpen them, is slide them into the hole, and shove them into the cone. Just like that. It's like sharpening a pencil. The best way to sharpen is to have your stakes laid out ahead. And then you can just grab them and shove them in as fast as you want. Now we're going to change sizes. We're going to go up to the 1.5 inches now, so we're going to remove the 1 inch. Put the inch back. Now we're up to the 1.5 inch stakes. Same thing, just in and out. Nice sharp point. If you don't see the point sharp as you want it when you put it in there, pull it out and just shove it in again. It ain't like you have to clamp it into anything anymore. This is really fast and easy. So the next ones we're going to do, we're going to go up to the 2 inch. Take out the 1.5 inches. We're going up to the 2 inch now. Now with the 2 inch, I do a lot of these for myself. So I get a lot of calls for 1x2s. So you can actually do a 1 inch piece and a 2 inch block. Basically what I do is center it in the thing and just shove it right in. You got a nice point. Comes out nice and even. Perfect. And like I say, you can do these as fast as you can handle them. Just want to make sure that when you go into your square, you're nice and straight with it. Now we're up to the 2x2. Same bit. Nice sharp pencil point. See how fast it works. Now we're going to go up to our 2.5 inch stake. Take out the last insert. What I do is push on the end, because if the stake ever breaks, it's going to break up in here where the force is. It ain't going to break out here, so you're safe. If it does break, this guard covers anything that comes flying out. 2.5 stake, a little bit more power. You just got to feed it a little slower. It works great. See that? I slowed it right down with that push. Nice and steady. Nice, good point. There we have it. It's a pretty nice machine. When you get done using it, blow it off. Take your air hose, blow it off, put your accessories back in so you don't lose them. Tighten things back up. If you're going to leave the stake pointer set for a while, it's best to oil up your knives on it so they don't rust and get dull on you. That's the way I treat mine. It works good. I keep several sets of blades on hand because they sharpen so many. So if you get one and you're going to sharpen a lot of stakes, I suggest that you get at least an extra set of blades. And you can send them in to get sharpened, or you can sharpen them yourself. Very easy to maintain. If you have any questions, call Hud-Son, 1-800-765-7297. Ask for John. Have a great day, folks.